Man, I'm really grateful for my experience. I think it's in my nature, might resonate with a lot of your audience, but we constantly want to grow and move forward. So it's always easy to think and reflect, and I could have done more. I could have had more combat deployments. I could have done this. I could have done that. And so I fought a little bit of that coming out of this job, coming out of the military. But when I truly sit there and I reflect, I am so grateful for the experience. And to your point, our mission set, it's insane how I feel like it's so fitting. I before I joined Special Forces, I actually did the Navy SEAL Challenge. So this was before the Marine Corps. You do a SEAL challenge to get a contract, right? And so I did that challenge, and I remember like just training with those SEALs. These were active duty SEALs training us. I felt like I belonged in a place like that. I liked the water. We'd get punished in the water consistently, and I did enjoy a little bit of it because I like pushing myself. But I didn't understand the mission set. Like I didn't even know the difference between SEALs, Rangers, and I don't even know that I knew what Green Berets were at that time. And so when you fast forward to, hey, I made it through selection, I was truly just looking to be in an environment with, the elite. And if I could, the elite of the elite, right? But it was when I started the Q course that I got a deeper understanding. I knew what Green Berets did before I went to selection, but like a deep understanding of it. And man, for that, I think it's so cool. We're oftentimes referred to in the special operations community specifically, right? Because kind of like you had pointed out, we got different branches, and then we have the special operations community, and you got Green Berets, SEALs, MARSOC Raiders, and then special mission units, right? But we're referred to in that community is the Swiss Army knife of special operations. And that comes from our involvement in so many different types of missions and mission sets. And, I think a lot of people think all special operations are similar in that we're just always doing what's referred to as direct action missions, right? Like hitting compounds, hunting down terrorists, things like that. And we do that. And it varies from theater to theater and time frame and what's going on. But what we're really founded on is called unconventional warfare. And so in the most simple sense, like, what does that mean? We're going into a country that is adversarial, right? It's like a foreign enemy, hostile territory. We're going in there. We're raising up a resistance, a movement. We're creating a movement. We're embedding within that movement. And we're essentially overthrowing that country, all for the reason of freeing the oppressed, right? The idea is that the civilians of that nation are oppressed, right? A lot of times you can think of like communist nations, right? Historically speaking. And we're going in there, raising up that resistance, teaching them all the skills they need to create their own army, and then, fight back. And like in the movies, it's they overcome, they topple the regime, and then they become allies of ours, right? So that's sort of like the theatrics behind it. But we do that, right? Macro scale, micro scale. You look at some of the things modern day we've done in Afghanistan, some of the things that we've done in Syria. There's so much out there that I think a lot of the civilian population probably just isn't aware of. There are things that we head off before it becomes a huge, public thing. And so I'm extremely proud of that. And the cool thing is there are so many different skill sets that you have to learn in order to operate. You take an average 12-man team, and part of our preparation for a mission is identifying that mission and then training specifically for that mission, right? We might have a direct action mission where we're doing like sniper things, and we're doing like CQB, like housework, raiding houses, things like that. And that's all we're going to do that whole mission. And then we might have another one where we're doing more like intelligence heavy things. And we might have one that's like just training, like we're just training up a foreign security force to strengthen their security within their own country because they're an ally of ours. There's so much to it. And that's what I really love about special forces in the Army.
Well, as I understand it, I mean, you guys, yeah, I know a lot of people with little understanding think of all special forces as like the door kicking, snake eating guys, and you guys can do that too. Well,
Right.
you're these creative, like warfighting diplomats, communicators. Uh, you have to be incredibly mentally agile,
Right.
and you're wearing that military's uniform. You're growing your beards. You're eating their food, sleeping in their homes, that kind of thing, and you're becoming part of the, you're going native, so to speak, so that you earn that trust. So that's there's a lot of skill sets there. What of those skill sets have translated into, the world you're in now?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think that the easy answer is for me, all of them. But getting specific for you, like you had mentioned, we have the ability, and I'm not trying to paint this picture that every special forces soldier on a team is James Bond, right? Like a lot of times that's what the movies portray. And, you know, some individuals more than others, some individuals get some schools, some, it's just different experiences. You'll have Green Berets that
Hmm.
they only do training and they've never had a combat deployment. And then you'll have some Green Berets that like, that's all they've done is combat deployments and they don't know how to act around the State Department or within an embassy or things like that. And so
Hmm.
I want to avoid a harsh generalization, but what I can talk about is my experience, right? And what I'll say is I have got to have the combat deployments, the we call them like cool schools, the shooting schools, and I love that stuff. And if I'm being honest, like I like using my brain, but I much prefer to use my brawn. But on the other side, when I talk about brain, I'm talking about schools that teach us how to dress, how to act, how to elevate our status, how to bring value to people, even sell stuff. I didn't know I was learning sales. Like I was going to schools to learn how to do sales, but I didn't understand it was sales, right? So all sorts of things like that. And I think what's been probably the the most fun that I've enjoyed implementing and where I'm at now, meaning like in business, has been the things that have allowed me to double down on my like natural abilities. So I am so naturally a thinker. I get caught in the details. I see all the details, very strategic, very analytical. And there was a good portion of my career that I got to just live and thrive in that environment. And I'm so grateful for that. And one of the things it actually led to was a gig that I got to do where I was operating out of an embassy. And I've never worked in the corporate world. And I'm not saying that working in an embassy is the same as the corporate world. There just are some similarities that you probably won't find in other places within the military. And so I will say that that was one gig that I truly enjoyed because it showed me a different side of what it means to be a Green Beret. It showed me a different side of the trust that people within the government, within the Army, had in me, right? Because ultimately we refer to the government, the Army, as this like big, like almost like omniscient entity for the states, right? But it's like no, it's people, right? And so ultimately there's people that trusted me, and man, I learned a ton. I learned how to conduct effective meetings. I learned how to coordinate meetings between interagencies within the intelligence community. I mean, things that like I look back now and I'm like, man, I was 31 years old. And I was doing things that quite frankly, they don't trust O6s in the regular army to do. And that's just being frank. But as a E7, you know, within the special forces community, they trusted me to represent an entire special operations for a certain area. And I'm proud of that and I'm grateful for that. And I'd say a lot of those things, we oftentimes refer to them as like generalizing here, like soft skills. But a lot of those, like my soft skills were really, really sharpened in that environment.
And how long did you serve? And are you still active, or did you separate?
Yeah, so I did 13 years in the Army. I actually just got out about 6 months ago. And so, you know, right now I'm full-time entrepreneur and I'm loving every bit of it. I think like most of my peers, most of my friends that I see, it's a transition. I think some struggle more than others. I definitely had struggles getting out, but I'm in a really good place now and I'm enjoying it. And like you pointed out, I'm grateful for the experience and I'm just kind of taking life for what it is right now, you know?